Caithfirleach. Agus táim buíoch as an deis leabhar an mille tábhachtach seo mhrónóna. Bhailim mo chuid buíochas a gabhfuil le deis an teachta Peadar Tóibín as ucht é a chur faoi bhrád na Dála. Agus iarm freisin takeíocht ó gach éon seachta den mille atá os Argóir. The aim of the bill before the Dáil this evening, Minister, is to designate certain parts of Moore Street and its immediate surroundings as a national monument. The Moore Street battlefield site, as Deputy Tóibín has set out. This would ensure that the route taken by the volunteers on their evacuation of the GPO during the Easter Rising is adequately preserved. This is a bill that I hope would receive the unanimous support of every Dáil deputy. Moore Street lies at the heart of my constituency, and not alone is it a street steeped in history, it is a street like no other. It's home to a street trading tradition that goes back generations. And as I'm sure everyone knows, the traders of Moore Street, the Molly Malones as they're sometimes referred to, make an unparalleled contribution to the life and vibrancy of the inner city. And amongst them you'll find some of the finest Dublin characters you'll ever meet, and I'm fortunate, Caithfirleach, to call many of them my friends. They need to be front and centre of any and all plans to redevelop Moore Street so that their tradition is preserved and indeed their livelihoods maintained. That is absolutely essential. Alongside that, redevelopment must honour the heritage of the Moore Street quarter, and the entire Moore Street terrace needs to be protected, preserved and restored. Sinn Féin's long-standing proposal to develop a historical quarter in the area would be of considerable benefit to the city, both economically and socially. Unfortunately, due to countless legal battles, the development of Moore Street has ground to a halt. And that, it has to be said, is a direct result of the actions and inaction of successive governments. You, Minister, have refused to issue a preservation order for the buildings on Moore Street that this bill identifies as comprising the national monument on Moore Street. This, despite the Court of Appeal confirming in February that you have the power to do so. And so this is what this bill proposes to do, to amend the National Monuments Acts for the purposes of deeming the Moore Street site a national monument. Such a move would put an end to the nonsense that has been ongoing for decades in respect of the Moore Street site. As a result of the legal wrangling that has surrounded the site, the entire north-western end of O'Connell Street has been left in a state of disgraceful disrepair. And as a result, the entire street suffers, and O'Connell Street is undoubtedly not fulfilling its potential as the main thoroughfare of our capital city. Moore Street could be, should be, a rich, vibrant cultural and heritage site that would adequately honour the legacy of the men and women of 1916. It would also serve as a catalyst for the renewal of the entire area. A large international developer holds planning permission for effectively all the buildings on the side of the street where the National Monument is located. And while there has been some interaction between the developer concerned and the Ministerial Advisory Forum, this has been limited. The planning permission could be enacted at any time, which means the buildings listed except 14 to 17 Moore Street in the bill would be threatened with destruction. You, Minister, have refused to take the necessary preservation order, we are told, because all stakeholders are interacting on the Ministerial Advisory Forum. A preservation notice is not incompatible with that forum, which will not make or accept any decision that is not fully in sympathy with national monument status. And I think you need to understand that and take it on board. Caithfirleach, we need the government to step up and put in place proper safeguards for the Moore Street quarter. Minister, you should do the right thing and issue the preservation order. If you do that, well then this bill could be withdrawn. If you don't, well then we have no option but to persist with our campaign to see it that the Dáil acts instead. The campaign outside will similarly continue, and I want in particular, as I conclude, to commend the work of the Save 16 Moore Street Committee and the 1916 Relatives Group over the years. I fear that without their tireless advocacy, Moore Street would have already been irrevocably lost and damaged. Because of their tireless work, we have an opportunity to do something different, something meaningful, and to do what we should, to do the right thing. So mar sin a Dáil Éireann gach teachta tacu leis an mille atá raibhain. Go raibh míle maith agat.